What you're looking at is a low-profile narco sub, seized far out at sea. But this was just the beginning. The more these crafts got caught, the smarter they became, until they transformed into something far more dangerous. The air inside is thick and suffocating. The stench of fuel, resin, and sweat fills every corner. There's barely room to move, and just a narrow passage, not even a meter across, where human bodies and contraband are packed together inside a shell of fiberglass and Kevlar. This isn't a vessel that rides the waves. It vanishes below them. Cruising silently at depths of 20 meters, it leaves no trace on radar, no shadow on satellite, and no sign for the patrol ships sweeping the surface above. Welcome aboard a real narco submarine, an FSV, built for one purpose only: to slip through the ocean floor in complete silence, moving massive drug shipments without ever being found. This is no military sub, it's something else entirely. The entire concept rests on one brutal calculation. The drugs inside are worth so much that even destroying a multi-million-dollar vessel is a worthwhile trade. Construction alone can exceed $5 million, but the payload it carries is worth many times that. These things don't need to be safe or sophisticated. They just need to be invisible enough to get the job done. An FSV represents the peak of this evolution, capable of fully submerging for stretches of the voyage. But narco subs didn't start here. Before full submersibles came something simpler, cheaper, and far more common: the low-profile vessel. These crafts don't come from shipyards or factories. They're born deep in the jungle, assembled in mangroves along hidden rivers, under canopies of dense vegetation. Components trickle in quietly: engines, hull panels, fuel tanks, wiring. Everything moves through mud, in silence, away from any eyes above. Fiberglass isn't chosen for its cost. It's chosen because it hides. Unlike steel, which bounces radar signals back strongly, fiberglass barely registers. It won't make the vessel disappear entirely, but in an open ocean full of interference and motion, a reduced signature is often more than enough. Getting the vessel to the sea is its own operation. It must snake through narrow channels and shallow rivers, under cover of darkness, with lights off. This early stretch is the most exposed, closest to land, most vulnerable to detection. Only once it clears the coast does the real mission begin. Crew numbers are kept minimal. Every extra body means less cargo space and more weight. Those who climb aboard know exactly what they're signing up for. Days cramped inside a hot, deafening shell, surrounded by fuel drums, machinery, and contraband. So why do people agree to this? Almost always the answer comes down to money. In regions where legitimate work pays almost nothing, a single run can deliver more income than years of regular employment. For some, it's a calculated risk. For others, it's barely a choice at all. Most of these vessels run on diesel, the same kind pulled from trucks and industrial machinery. It's durable, repairable, and built for long hauls. But running it quietly is the real challenge. Diesel engines generate noise, vibration, and heat is a serious liability when infrared sensors are searching from above. The solution is clever. Route the exhaust below the waterline. The surrounding water absorbs the heat before it can rise and register on thermal cameras. Simple in concept, but remarkably effective in practice. It's exactly this kind of adaptation that makes these vessels so hard to track. Navigation relies on stripped-down tools, basic GPS units, small cameras, sometimes just a snorkel poking above the surface. The vessel floats low and heavy with almost no buffer for error. A single leak, a failed pump, a dead battery, any of it can turn a crossing into a death trap. These machines were never designed to protect the people inside them. They were designed to protect the cargo. If the run goes smoothly, the shipment lands. If something fails, the crew is sealed inside a vessel with no real way out and no system built to save them. But low profile wasn't enough forever. Planes, patrol boats, and thermal cameras kept getting better at spotting them. So some operators pushed further, constructing hulls capable of true submersion. Not military-grade submarines, but vessels that could dive deep enough to vanish from most detection systems. Going underwater creates an immediate problem: oxygen. A diesel engine needs air to run, which is why some of the more advanced builds switch to electric motors for the riskiest stretches. Batteries keep things quieter, but they also add weight, complexity, and shrink the already tiny margin for error. Many of these vessels are never meant to come back. Returning after a delivery is too great a risk. The craft could be tracked, identified, or seized, so it gets scuttled. And if the crew suspects they've been spotted mid-voyage, the vessel may be sunk on the spot. Within minutes, the ocean swallows the cargo, the hull, and nearly every trace of where it came from. On the other side, authorities deploy coastal radar networks, surveillance aircraft, thermal imaging, satellite tracking, and intelligence operations. But this is a war of constant adaptation. Every new detection method triggers a new design change. Every upgrade in surveillance is met with another layer of concealment. This is what a narcosub truly is. Assembled in jungle mud, hauled through hidden waterways, crewed by people with few other options, and engineered to value the shipment above everything, including the lives on board. That's what makes it so unsettling, not its sophistication, not its technology, just the fact that it works.